Just a Mad Dog Wednesday. Stephen A. Luis in the house as well.
Yep, sitting in your seat again, just upgrading the whole studio. You know what I mean?
See, I was going to be nice to you.
You know what? Just upgrading the whole studio.
I was going to be nice to you. Then you say you upgraded,
why wouldn't you be nice to me anyway?
Because you just
got to be conditional.
It's an upgrade. What do you mean it's an upgrade?
Why's it got to be conditional?
First of all, if you're going to sit in my seat, make sure you're wearing a tie next time.
No,
make sure you have on one of your suits. Don't be coming up there looking like Mr. Chippendales.
I purposely didn't wear a tie because I knew it would aggravate you. That's why I didn't wear a tie.
So you admitted that your purpose was to aggravate me. That's what you admit.
That's the best Stephen A. is aggravated Stephen A.
I got someone else who's more aggravated than both of you, and that would be Cowboys legend and Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith, who sounded off on his frustration regarding the Dallas Cowboys' lack of success as the division foe Eagles just continue to ascend. Emmitt.
I'm sick of it for two reasons. One, we have allowed others to come and nitpick at the start and make fun of the start. Now all of a sudden, in the last 20 years, they win 2 Super Bowls. They think they're the best thing on the doggone planet.
Yeah.
And everywhere I go Birds. I'm sick of hearing go Birds. I'm always asking, where you going? You still got a long way to go to catch the Hawks. That part bugs me. It bugs me because in my heart, I truly believe our organization should be contending for an NFC championship and even a Super Bowl at least once or twice every decade. Because every team recycles every decade.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so for us not to be there over the last 30 years is a crying shame.
I want to know how our Philly guy feels about that. And I'm looking at you, Lewis. Your reaction to Emmitt.
Yeah, you look, well, ironically, even as someone who grew up in the southeastern Pennsylvania area, I was a Dallas Cowboy fan as a kid my whole life. So
oh, Lord.
let that be said. Now, but it doesn't matter because, look, what Dallas has done in the past, really, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter what they were like in the 90s. And I played against those teams in the 90s. I know how good they were. I know how dominant they were. I know what the kind of fear that they struck in opponents back then. You felt like you couldn't do anything with these guys and they were so simple in what they did, but they were just better than everybody. And they were at the forefront of everyone's discussion off the field. And when on the field, everyone was like, man, what would it be like to play with this kind of collection of talent? Those times have long passed. They have long passed. No one fears. Look, Dallas is still in the headlines. Dallas is still a topic of conversation because they've been riding that wave for the past 20 years of what Emmitt and them established and what Tony Dorsett and Rodgers Staubach and them established before that. But as far as being one of the teams that is looked at as one of the top-tier franchises, one of the best-run franchises, from A to Z, they're not in that discussion anymore, and deservedly so. They don't deserve to be in that discussion right now, and Philadelphia does. They do deserve to be in that discussion. No team right now is maximizing every avenue as far as trying to put the best 53 guys on the field as well as Philadelphia is. No team is doing it better than them right now. There are teams doing it as good, but no team is doing it better. They have hit the sweet spot right now, and they are going to stay there for quite a while, I believe. And Dallas has a lot of work to do to catch up with it. They need to go back and reevaluate their process if they want to be talked about like they were back in the 90s. Because right now it's flawed and it is not giving them the kind of ROI that they want.
Well, I agree with the idea that Philadelphia is better run and a better team. The Eagles will never be the Cowboys as far as the national public is concerned. The Cowboys go back to the 60s. The Eagles are not a team that is beloved nationally. There are no Eagle fans in Wichita, Kansas. There are Cowboy fans. Right. That's the difference. Cowboys at the start.
But see, this discussion, you're right. But see, this discussion isn't about, like what team is going to generate the most headlines and what team people are going to look historically stay in love with. Look, I'm a guy who was a Cowboys fan back in the 70s because of Tony Dorsett. I was a guy who, I had Cowboys posters on my wall, and I still remember those glory days. But we're talking about what have you done for me lately and how are things being done now. They're not on the same level. They're not on the same level.
Well, first of all, don't be insulting Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? Don't be just insulting Janet Jackson by bringing up the Cowboys and her name in the same breath. Don't do that. Don't do that. She don't deserve that. She don't deserve that. It's Janet Jackson we're talking about, okay? That's number one. Number two, as they say in the South, Lewis, I reckon you're right. I reckon you're right with what you said and echoing what Emmitt Smith said. Now, here's the irony. We all know how much I love to troll Cowboy fans. Not Cowboys. Cowboy fans, most disgusting, nauseating fan base in American history. They go 1-15, 1-16 in this day and age. No, we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, right? No, we're going to win the Super Bowl next year, right? This is what annoys me about them, which is why their comeuppance is always so beautiful to witness, okay? But just thinking about my life, knowing how much I can't stand those Cowboy fans, Emmitt Smith saw me around Super Bowl week, came up to me, gave me a big hug, One of my buddies is the one and only Troy Aikman. My boys, my brothers, Michael Irvin, and primetime Deion Sanders. You see, Cowboys who win have no issue with me whatsoever. Zero. It's only the others, you understand? Because they don't get it done. And when I say I don't get it done, how could we possibly talk about the Cowboys and compare them to an NFL franchise like the reigning defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles without providing data? So allow me to do it. So I'm looking at 8 NFC title games. 8 for the Philadelphia Eagles. These are all numbers since the start of the 1996 season, because the Cowboys won in 1995. You understand? For those of you that can't count, that's 30 years ago. That's the last time the Cowboys won. Okay, nevertheless, let's get back to that. NFC title games, 8-0. Super Bowl appearances, 4-0. Super Bowl titles, 2-0. Did y'all know that the Dallas Cowboys, with Brian Schottenheimer being their new coach, that's their 8th head coach since I think they have, yes, it is 8. So they've had more playoff wins, more coaches rather, more new coaches than playoff wins since their last Super Bowl appearance in 1995. They've only had 5 playoff wins since 1995. 5 playoff wins in 30 years. That's an average of 1 every 6 years for those of you that can't count. Look at the kid right there. I mean, it's beautiful, man. This is beautiful to see. So we gotta remember, we gotta understand and highlight the level and the aptitude. We see men, women, and children cry. Remember that video with the sister looking at them like she's just so disgusted? It's words that I can't repeat. But any brother knows when a sister's looking like that. We know what she's saying. We can't repeat it over the airways, but we know what she's saying when she was watching the Cowboys lose after lose after lose. I mean, this is what they do. And so now, here we are. The Cowboys have the 11th best regular season record during this current Super Bowl drought since 1996. Do you know that the 10 teams before them all won? All of them.
Okay, Stephen A. So are you saying? So here's what I want to know really quick, because I'm just seeing Adam Schefter tweeted out that Jalen Hurts is on the Times 100 most influential list. That's a major compliment to be included on that. When we're considering things like that, and we're considering their Super Bowl ring and their postseason success of late, do you feel like they've surpassed Dallas?
Nope. Dallas got prestige, but you know what, Molly? Sometimes prestige is the worst thing. Like, for example, when everybody knows you fall on your face and everybody cares, I mean, that's not the greatest thing in the world. So you're right. They are winning in popularity and prestige. But in things that matter, substantive things like winning.
All right. Mad Dog, did the Cowboys star lose some of its weight?
I think Jerry Jones has hurt him. So I think he's been a disaster. But again, overall, and I know he had won the championships with Jimmy Johnson.
The question I have is, and I know we don't have time to answer it, but it's like, where is the prestige coming from 100%. Now still? Like, what is the origin of it? What's the foundation of it?
You answered it earlier. It's people like you, Lewis. You grow up, you little kid. You, as a kid, you loved Tony Dorsett.
Lewis.
As a kid, you loved the star and all of that stuff.
No, Lewis.
I'm keeping the prestige
the brand, because they were on national television, right? So they have fans everywhere. But I feel like it's slowly starting to age out a little bit for the Cowboys.
No doubt.
To be honest with you.
No doubt.
It's losing some of its luster. All right. Speaking of disastrous situations, let's go to Miami. Cornerback.
As the 2025 NFL Draft rapidly approaches, the Philadelphia Eagles are once again in a familiar position, at the forefront of championship contention and poised to reload. Fresh off their Super Bowl victory, the defending champions hold the 32nd overall pick, and all indications suggest they are ready to double down on the formula that brought them success: building from the trenches out, especially on defense. General Manager Howie Roseman has long been known for his commitment to dominating the line of scrimmage. With less than 2 weeks until draft night, insiders and mock drafts alike are pointing to the Eagles' front office targeting defensive line reinforcements, reinforcing a long-standing philosophy that prioritizes disruption up front as the backbone of a championship defense. At the top of Philadelphia's defensive wish list appears to be Walter Nolan, the standout defensive tackle from Ole Miss. Nolan's name has been repeatedly mentioned in mock drafts and analyst predictions, and for good reason. With the departure of Milton Williams, one of the Eagles' defensive heroes in the Super Bowl, to a big money deal with the Patriots, there is a noticeable void on the interior defensive line. Nolan fits the profile of what defensive coordinator Vic Fangio desires in his system. He's quick off the snap, strong at the point of attack, and brings relentless energy to every down. His explosiveness and versatility make him an ideal candidate to join a rotation that already features proven veterans. While Moro Ojomo showed flashes of development in 2024, Philadelphia's history of investing high-value picks in the defensive line underscores how vital they view this position group. Interior help isn't the only defensive focus for Philadelphia. With edge rusher Josh Sweat departing in free agency, the Eagles must also address a thinning depth chart on the outside. Boston College's Donovan Izeruwaku has become a popular name connected to the franchise. After a dominant 2024 season that saw him rack up 16.5 sacks, his stock has skyrocketed during the pre-draft process. Izeruwaku is viewed as NFL-ready and capable of contributing in a pass rush rotation from day one, exactly what the Eagles need. His polished technique and motor make him a compelling option at number 32, particularly for a team that thrives on pressure without needing to blitz. Another name generating buzz is James Pierce out of Tennessee. Pierce turned heads at the NFL Combine with a blistering 4.470 40-yard dash, the fastest among all edge rushers, and has the raw athleticism and burst to become a disruptive force at the next level. With 17.5 sacks over his final 2 collegiate seasons, he offers both production and untapped upside. One of the more surprising projections came from Steve Serby of the New York Post, who connected Alabama linebacker Jihad Campbell to the Eagles in the first round. While Campbell's dynamic ability to play both as a traditional off-ball linebacker and as a situational edge rusher adds appeal, this pick would signal a massive philosophical shift. Philadelphia hasn't selected a true linebacker in the first round since 1979. Campbell's 5 sacks in 2024 and coverage ability make him an intriguing chess piece. But with Zack Baun recently signing a 3-year extension, linebacker may not be the most pressing need on draft night. While the specific name on the draft card remains a mystery, the direction seems crystal clear. Philadelphia appears committed to restoring its defensive front as a priority, an identity that has defined its recent success. In 2024, the Eagles went heavy on secondary talent. This year, they're expected to return to the blueprint that brought them to the mountaintop, a suffocating front four and relentless pass rush. Roseman's calculated long-view approach ensures the team isn't merely drafting for this year, but for continued contention. Stockpiling talent in the trenches ensures both immediate impact and sustainable defensive excellence. Moreover, holding the 32nd pick presents a unique advantage. Talented defenders inevitably slip through the cracks due to the quarterback-heavy focus at the top of the draft. The Eagles are in position to pounce. As the countdown to draft night continues, one truth remains. The Eagles are not looking to rebuild. They're reloading. With a championship-caliber roster already in place, Philadelphia doesn't need to take risks. Instead, they're poised to make a measured, strategic selection that aligns with their proven winning formula. Whether it's Nolan anchoring the middle, Izeruwaku flying off the edge, or a surprise pick shaking things up, the Eagles' first-round selection will likely signal one thing above all else: a recommitment to dominance in the trenches. The defensive front has long been the heart of Philadelphia's success, and as they prepare for another run at glory, it seems that heart is set to grow even stronger.